Welcome everyone to my live today. Um, I am going to be going over a case that really sparked my interest over the last couple of days. Kind of just like, I'm like really happy it came up on my algorithm. There's a couple of things that I've been happy about my algorithm showing me lately. But yeah, so I have been working a lot on the the David case, and I was gonna go live with that over the last week, but then, and I still want to, like, I could maybe even do it like tomorrow possibly, but I then got kind of interested in this side quest case, and that is what I'm going to be talking about in this video. And it is the recent case that is taking place, true crime case that's taking place in Albany, New York, and it involves a man named the suspect, who is a like what like I think he's like probably mid-50s guy, and his name is Lorenz Kraus, and he is being accused of red rumming his parents. And there was a very interesting interview that went down over the last couple of days with a local news reporter from CBS 6 in the Albany area. So I listened to that and I was like, holy shit, this is crazy. So I thought it'd be interesting to do it here, and like fun, and kind of like not like the pressure's on with all the other things, because this is just like, I'm just gonna do like a reaction and not like have sat here and like tried to like conceptualize and analyze a bunch of shit, you know what I mean? Which I like doing, but okay, so I also want to start off, I don't want to forget, sorry, I'm gonna be like looking down here. Yeah, before we get into it, I want to give a content warning, because this is pretty like just like difficult things to hear and listen to in this interview. Like, it's just like makes you feel fucking weird. Um, it's, yeah, disturbing. And yeah, it's definitely, it's not like too violent, but kind of violent, but it's just like, ugh, it's like a mind fuck. But anyways, sensitive subject matter, so please take care of yourself while watching, and if you need to step away or whatever, feel free. You're on YouTube, so you can do whatever you want, and no one's gonna judge, because no one can see what you're doing unless you're me right now. But yeah, well, let's get into it. So I guess I'll start off with saying, well, I already did the content. All right, let's just jump right in. Okay, today I did a little like spell, and it's for focus and like confidence and clarity. So that's what I'm bringing in here today. And I hope this microphone is working out okay. So, uh, yeah, let's just hope for the best. I did do like a couple trial runs, so I think that the audio, but it's complicated when it comes to certain things. Then I try to get all fancy, you know what I mean? Okay. So I'm just gonna start off with, oh wait, first I'll show you a picture. No. So this is who we will be talking about today. Restart, restart. Okay, here we go. This dude, who, I mean, oh my god, you guys, I mean, you don't want to judge a book by a cover, but this guy is definitely giving off like kind of cuckoo for coconut, cuckoo for cocoa puffs vibes for me. And actually, I do have like family that I would place in similar categories as this guy, and I like thought about that a couple of times while I was like starting to like get into this information. So no, like, no cap, or I don't know if that's, I'm saying it right, but I'm not trying to insult anyone. I'm just trying to like point out things I noticed. So, anyways, this is the guy we're gonna be talking about today. His name, like I said, is Lorenz Kraus, about mid-50s, and he was living in a house that was in Albany, New York. It was on 6 Court View or some shit, like Sunset Court or I don't know, somewhere in Albany. And the police were, or like the news started reporting on it. And so like I found this information from the um, some of the news videos that have been put out from CBS 6, and then also their written like reporting that go along with those like stories. So that's where I've gotten the majority of my information. And if I didn't get it from there, I will tell you where I did get it from. And yeah, so they said this all kind of started happening this week, but it definitely goes back further than just this week. But um, he so the police like issued a search warrant for that house on 6 Sunset Court or whatever, and this man lived there. And then they originally were serving this like search warrant for suspicions of some type of like financial like fraud or something that has to do with like money stuff, like not necessarily like violent or um and it sounded like there was a pretty big police presence, and like they haven't gotten too much into that, but I have theories and some found some, I would call it evidence that I think could maybe give us some perspective into this guy as well. But anyways, I'll get into more of my theories as we go along, because it's just like, yeah, interesting. Oh my god, this is like a very strange case, but that's why I like it, because it's like, yeah, weird, just like me. But yeah, so hold on, I'm just taking. So anyways, they were like serving out the search warrant, and then they like said, like the news reporter said that on Tuesday they noticed that a lot of the law enforcement were like looking in the backyard for something, and it looked like kind of weird. And then on Wednesday, apparently, the law enforcement came back like in full force, and they brought with them the like coroner and an how do you say that word? Extradition um group or squad or whatever. And then the reporter said that they saw the law enforcement taking pictures of something in the dirt in the backyard, which like doesn't sound great. Like, what would you be taking pictures of as a police officer in the dirt in the backyard? Besides like a dead body or something. So, but anyways, they brought the extradition team. Oh, see, I said it right there. And they recovered a one set of remains on Wednesday night, and then they came back on Thursday morning. This is law enforcement and the extradition team and stuff, and they collected or recovered a second body or remains of an individual. And the police they came out with a statement, or they like released, they had a press conference on Thursday this week after kind of all that happened. And at the press conference, they said that they interviewed the man who is the creepy guy on our screen right now. But love that color though. I like the color combo there with him. But yeah, and then I have to focus. So yeah, and then he yeah, I guess he interviewed with the police chief of this like Albany. I think his name was like Brian Cox or something like that. And Brendan Cox. And he was like, yeah, we talked to him, but like nothing else happened. They didn't arrest this guy, like whatever. And then right after the press conference, apparently Lunzer, he ended up contacting CBS 6, the local news station there, and saying that he wanted an opportunity to give a statement and like he also agreed to meet and have like maybe an interview and a discussion at the same time with this news reporter whose name is Greg Floyd, which is very similar to George Floyd, but definitely not the same. And and this is like really so okay. My background is like I was a clinical psychologist in prisons for like about 5 years, and then I also worked within the like private legal system in like psychology, like forensic psychology, doing like assessments and court reports, and also working on like pretty like hardcore stuff in terms of like civil commitments and stuff like that too. And like even before I went and started getting my doctorate in clinical psychology, I was like working with like an undergraduate and master's degree along the same lines of work throughout the last like basically 20 years. And I was also a bartender. So basically, I know lots of wakes of life and lots of mental disease, and like also like a lot of people that are like this dude, and a lot of the people that we talk about in true crime cases, because yeah, those are the people that end up in prison, and I end up like evaluating them. So anyways, I used to do psychosexual evaluations for a sex offender program in a Minnesota prison system. So I've like done some pretty extensive like evaluations. I also did stuff for CPS, so I worked with like families and like children in juvenile detentions too. So I have like a pretty, you know, decent uh no, I know like yeah, I know like a lot about like psychology and stuff. So and anyways, yeah, that's why I was like this case is interesting. And this interview, it's like 30 minutes, and it's just to me it's like mind blowing to me. And this interview, oh my God, like I'm like, yo, like he is definitely like an investigator and like a reporter, and not someone that's like trying to like bring, you know, like ease or comfort to someone when they're like obviously talking about or experiencing something, you know, pretty emotionally difficult or just like weird, you know what I mean? So you definitely see that in this interview between the two of them. It's like, honestly, it seems like satire to me. I'm like, how is this even real? Like, I don't want to be like flippant about obviously a very serious, you know, matter, but wait until you hear this. It's just like, but part of me also is like drinking a little bit of the tea too, because I'm like, well, he's not wrong about that, but there's like a lot of stuff that he is wrong about, you know what I mean? But he's for sure. I mean, I can't diagnose anyone without meeting them, and I actually am not licensed, so I wouldn't diagnose anyone. But I do feel like I for sure have like the skill set and knowledge to be able to do that. And this dude for sure is like not. I mean, he like has he's mentally ill, and I'm like wonder. I want to know his history of like mental like health services or like history within the legal department, because I'm just like, yo, this dude's like weird, you know what I mean? And that always happens, and then it's like these families get left alone and like kind of deserted with like a obviously difficult situation with their like loved one, and it's like their kid, and they're like, I think he wants to murder me, but like I don't want to like kick him out on the street because he's obviously sick. But so anyways, I would just kind of wonder what this dude's history is. So anyways, everyone meet Mr. Klaus. No, Kraus. Kraus. Mr. Kraus. Um, like I said, his name was, what the fuck is his name? His first name? Lunder? Um, Kraus. Lorenz? Lorenz Kraus. Okay. Anyways, so the two victims in this case are the elderly couple that they have identified, or like that they have a very strong, I don't know exactly like the legal what's legally filed yet, but they are saying that the bodies in the backyard that they found were the elderly couple that were the parents to Lorenz Kraus, and it was both the husband and wife that they found in the backyard. And the elderly couple died, I think, like over 5 years ago. So he's been like anyways, just wait until. I mean, he obviously buried his parents in the backyard and didn't tell anyone about it. So that just right off the bat is kind of like a little bit suspicious. Like, why the fuck would you have buried your parents in the backyard and not told anyone? Like, what happened here, you know? So, but yeah, super weird. Like, so let's get into this. Like, he ends up. Okay, so the victims' names are Teresa and Franz, and they have their son Lorenz Kraus. And he mentions in this interview that I think they're like from the homeland. Like I think he mentioned that they were old enough to like have lived during a little bit of the World War II and like Germany and a lot of the just not like necessarily like a really easy life. And they were immigrants, like so. Yeah, it sounds like they were immigrants, but maybe they were like first generation immigrants or something. I don't know exactly the details, but those were the two victims that were found in the backyard. And then I'm not sure exactly what the dynamics is, so we'll just have to listen to it. So, let's see. Yeah, suspected financial crimes is why the original police search warrant was executed. On Wednesday, investigators were seen walking in and out carrying items from the home. And then also that's when they started looking in the backyard. Okay. Oh, okay. Here we go. So like I said, he reached out to the station's reporter, Greg, and this is CBS 6. And what is going on here? It's annoying. My iPad is like being cool. Go away. Okay. So I was hoping I could highlight shit, but I guess I can't. He agreed to an interview conversation with Greg, and some crazy stuff came out that reminds me of SNL or like the Onion article, but we'll review that reporting. But also, it was reported after this press statement on Thursday and after the police said that they had interviewed Kraus that, like I said, Kraus contacted CBS and asked to release a statement. Okay, well, so let's read the statement. I did this earlier. I actually recorded it because I was hoping to just make a video, but then I was just like, no, I have to just. Okay, so this is an example of his statement. I'll just go through it really quick, but I did look up some of the stuff. Okay, to everyone who is suffering in this world. Okay, this is like what he gave to the news after he was like just found with two bodies in his backyard of his mom and dad. Okay, he says, Arnold, okay, listen to this. Arnold Schwarzenegger teaches that we should make yourself useful. It's like, what? That's like grammatically not really correct, but whatever. Arnold Schwarzenegger teaches that we should make yourself useful. I am open. Oh my God. Yeah, this is when I took a note. I need to contact this dude. I want to, like, I would love to interview this dude. But he says, I am open to talking with all YouTubers that I can. This is gonna be my big blow up. The interview with, honestly, I bet it would be a good interview. I'm a really good interviewer. Not to like toot my own horn, but he says, I want to talk with all YouTubers that I can since they can present conversations over SoundCloud. Oh wait, soundboard, something. I invented a brain saver medical device concept while at RPI. Okay, I was like, what's RPI? So I started looking up all this stuff and I like found out some information and he kind of goes off on some tangents, but honestly, I went down them, so I'm just gonna like also go down them with you because why not? So it says here, okay. Oh wait, let me share. What? I had like where did it go? I had this stuff like all pulled out and prepped to like be able to just grab, but I don't see it. What else was I gonna share? Okay, well, oh yeah, me looking up stuff. Okay, yeah, wait, yeah, hold up. Oops. Sorry, thank you for your patience. Okay. No. History. Up here. And oops, that's not what I wanted to show you guys. Um, mm, okay. Let's just work with this spinning. All right, let me just go ahead and share this with you guys. No. Okay. All right, here we go. Back to the business. So, also, I just want to give a shout out to Landon because last time I was on here and I did a live and I just honestly like didn't check the chat the entire time that I was online. And then when I signed off, I like looked at it and Landon had written something and I was like, fuck, I was like really wanting to touch base with Landon. So Landon, I missed you and thank you for showing up and trying to talk to me. And now I'm looking for you and will be in the future as well. So shout out to the homies at the crib like Landon. Okay. So let's see, where was I? Oh, I'm sharing my references. So, anyways, RBI is where he's delusional. In my opinion, he's delusionally talking about. I can be like lighter with this. Whatever. Who cares? Okay. La 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 la. He says, I invented a brain saver medical device concept while at RPI. Well, what the fuck is RPI? But RPI is the well, and guess what? I couldn't pronounce this, so you know what? I see. I really prepped a lot for this, but now I have to. One day I'm gonna be so smooth at all this. Everyone's gonna be like, "Wow, how'd you know where all that stuff?" Oops, damn it! I didn't. Oh my god, shit! You guys don't want to. Okay, you guys, shit. I hope you guys don't like try to call the people that you just saw in my. It's not that big of a deal. It's totally not a big deal. So no big deal. But anyways.
Rensselaer Polytechnic Institute.
Here, let's try that again. This is how you pronounce it.
Rensselaer Polytechnic Institute.
I hope everyone can hear that. And if you can't, that's too bad. Because I thought you could. So let's see here. Also, fuck. No, that's fine. I just wanna. Okay. I also like have been thinking a lot about like what little like fun sound effects do I want to use? Like, of course, like super pointless stuff to think about when I just need to put out fucking videos, you know what I mean? But I'm still like, so I have this like huge, like massive brand set up underneath the like, you know, I'm just ready to jump out, like completely prepared with anything and everything, but it's like I still haven't just like put it out there, you know what I mean? But why was I talking about this? Oh, because I had prepped and I was like, you can just have them listen to this. And then, oh no, this is the thing I want to show you guys. I hope you guys can hear this. This fucking bird is so loud. Yeah, so that's gonna be my evil laugh. I love this part. He's like, I mean, obviously he's like copying someone who like has like problems with like eating while they laugh. You know what I mean? It sounds like someone's like out of breath laughing. It's just so funny. And then he goes, "Hey."
Hi.
This part.
Hello.
Hello.
I need to get a bird. Okay. So, anyways, I hope you guys could hear that. And also, I'll play the name of this institute for you again. Sounds super fancy, and it is super fancy. She's like this really smart lady. Oh, we haven't talked about that yet. Okay. So he is claiming he was at RPI, and it is designed to oxygenate the brain in case of drowning or smoke inhalation. A brain saver medical drive. I mean, genius. Like, that's awesome. He said, I won a $1,000 entrepreneurship prize for it. President Shirley Ann Jackson was fond of noting it in her many speeches. Okay, what? Like, this is for sure delusional and like grandiose AF. Like, what are you talking about, dude? So I was like, who is this lady? Well, it actually is somebody, and she's like super accomplished. Like, I mean, definitely she was not talking about Lunzer, Gunter, whatever the fuck this dude's name is, Lorenz Kraus, during her many speeches, shouting him out for this like $1,000 entrepreneurship of the brain saver. But like, the fact that he shouted her out is like, I'm grateful for it because I got to learn a little bit more about this woman that has like the craziest like resume I've ever seen, or like CV, and almost to the point where I'm like it. I just am very suspicious, especially of like higher education, and like when people start making millions and millions of dollars as like a president of a research institute, and like are claiming that they're there for like the betterment of like, you know, society, and to help like bring equality and like fairness to our like policies and systems and stuff. And yeah, like when you start having people like that are, I don't know, it's not, anyways, I don't want to say I'm not, wait, fuck, what you said? Fuck, dude, you guys, I'm sorry if you didn't hear it. I hope you guys didn't just keep hearing that thing laughing the whole time that I was talking about Shirley Ann Jackson. But if you did, it's just meant to be that way, I guess. Anyways, so this lady is interesting to read about, but it is definitely a side quest that I did not need to go on necessarily. But I saw, this is still from Kraus. This is his statement that he gave to the news, like after the press conference on Thursday. It says, "I solve the problems of universals. Philosophers will know what this means, what that means. Philosophers, oh my God, sometimes, am I saying that right? Philosophers will know what that means," which I love that. He's like, shout out philosophers. I have solved the problem of universals. It's like, well, what? Like, I mean, definitely I will stand corrected if people are like, no, bitch, you're crazy. This man invented all of these things. How do you not know who he is? You know, I will definitely like, you know, admit my wrong, but I just am kind of like, this dude is interesting. Okay, so, and a bit funny, like if you think about the way that he writes this letter and like what he's actually thinking and trying to get across in this level, like letter, it's fucking, it's interesting. It's like, what were you thinking there, dude? Like, really, were you really thinking that way? It's like, oh, you were. Like, you definitely are not like understanding like reality right now very well, or like at least not your assessment of like other people and stuff, you know. So anyways, he says, I invented oh my God, you guys, this is where it gets fucking even crazier. And I think, actually, I think for sure this is where you'll start to see here, he gets off in these little tangents, which like, you know, crazy people do, like, or like, you know, severely mentally ill people can definitely be all over the place and really fixated and focused on things that aren't real, and like that they're super paranoid about, or that they have these like grandiose beliefs that they're like the owner of like, you know, the Taj Mahal, and like, let me come show it to you, like I built this with my uncle type shit. Like, they're not lying, they like literally think that's happening. And yeah, but also when you live in like a like world that is not based in reality, then you can find yourself obviously getting in a lot of trouble um by acting in ways that is not like good for you or your community or anyways, I'm kind of like digressing a little bit there. So, but I think my this hasn't come out at all, but we do know that he was being accused or suspected of financial crimes. And I noticed when I had like briefly listened to this interview between the Lorenz guy and then the Greg reporter guy, I noticed that he like was making a lot of like weird references to just I'll note it to you, like to money and like talking about paying people and like other countries about stuff. I was like, dude, what are you talking about? And then he like started talking about like when well you'll hear it, but he starts explaining a little bit into the reason maybe behind he like red rummed his parents, and a lot of it he's bringing up financial matters. So you guys will be pretty surprised. Anyways, so let's get to that and like finish this. So anyways, he says, I invented a private cash device called Pinnable, managed by Pinda Technology Inc. And then it gives you a website, pinda.ph. Well, I went to those sites, and let me share with you what I found. Wait, here we go. Anyway, so this is the place that this guy said that he graduated and got an award from, and it's like a super, super like elite school that's like basically just STEM and like has to do with like it sounds pretty crazy. Like I mean, some of the stuff that they're starting to invest in, because this is like really supposed to be like very top of the line, like most advanced in these new kind of fields like AI and like biomedical type stuff. So it's like important like concepts um and actual, material, but it's also like not to be taken lightly at all. And like the fact that we aren't even really aware that all these people are like in these positions making really important decisions like this, and like it's just uncomfortable, you know what I mean? And like this is the school that makes people to be in charge of the laws and the policies that surround these like very like important topics, and also like nuanced topics that people could definitely get in and monopolize. And that's like what they always do in America, is like they keep it amongst themselves, like whatever they figure out, like, oh, AI, don't tell anyone, like we're gonna be able to exploit all of America. Like instead of being like, yo, you guys, like look at what I found out, like AI, dude, like all of us could like only work like 2 days work weeks, but instead we have like five people that are like hoarding all this information and like, just making us still, it's just insane, honestly, that we allow people to exist in this disparity of a world that we live in right now. Like, I mean, it's kind of like, it's like rude. It's like rude that these people even come out into society and interact with us and pretend like it's cool. Like we're cool. It's like, dude, no. You guys are fucking us over, and like you're doing weird shit, and you're just appointing all of your little chromies, and you're charging a bunch of money and keeping it all like behind closed doors, and it's just kind of weird. If you want to like hear into any of that stuff, like I would just suggest maybe like even reading a short like biography, like blurb about what this woman has done like throughout her entire life. She was like the first, or she was the first female and black person to like head like a bunch of different companies. Like first person, like first woman and first black person to graduate from MIT like with some honors, and like she's broken a shit ton of records with women and with like black people. So props to her. She's obviously like extremely smart, and she does seem to like fight for the you know, for the right side or whatever, like helping to, it seems like considering the exploited in some of these policies and ways that they decide to go about things. Sorry, I'm like sounding kind of abstract right now, but this shit is abstract. Um, so anyways, yeah, just read your biography and like have your mind blown and be like, what the fuck? Okay, so but yeah, anyways, the Rensselaer Polytechnic Institute is the RBI that or RPI that Kraus cites in his letter, and also it's a super important school that Shirley Ann Jackson, who he shouted out, or actually who she shouted him out, was like the head of that for like a long time, and she was like important other stuff too. Okay, so then also he, mentions this private cat. Oh, by the way, that's my cat Leland. She's amazing. I love her so much. But okay, it says, oh, right. Okay, so right here he says, I invented a private, can you see this? I wonder if I can like blow it up a little bit. Yeah, this is better. Okay. So like up here it says, I invented, oh, I can't highlight, I guess. The hell? I invented, fuck. All right, I'm just not even gonna try to do anything like that. Okay, I invented a private cash device called Pinnable, managed by Pinda Technology Inc. And then he writes a website. Okay, so I went there, and here is a couple of things. And this is all very weird too. All right, this is Pinnable. I found it at pinda.ph. Okay, and it says, right, you kind of like, okay, what? Like, what is he even talking about? Birthdays, baptism, wedding, like, this is, but it's like, I mean, it's almost like he's trying to create, like, fraud and, like, maybe scam people out of money or something, but, like, none of it makes sense, and it's so just, like, disorganized and, like, just very, like, tangential and, like, makes no sense at all. Like, I mean, it literally sounds like satire. I just don't know, like, why the government would be worried about him doing this. Like, I just wonder if people are actually being taken advantage by this, but maybe people that like in other countries, okay, well, that might be true. Yeah. Here, world's first private cash device, a cash solution to central bank digital currencies. So he's like trying to come up with like in opposing cryptocurrency basically. Then he's like, we need, so first of all, this is just him. Like, you think it's like a company that he's like volunteering with? No, it's like literally just him. But he does have some pictures with like people from the Philippines, so I'm just like, what is going on? But it says Pinnable train sheets. They have interns, representatives, option holders, lenders, customers. It says read the Pinnable training sheet to understand what Pinnable is. Stay in touch via Facebook with Analona. Who the fuck is Analona? I bet maybe it's like goes grants for doctors. Pinda.ph. Okay, see, this is weird. Like, that seems, this is shicey as fuck. Oh, maybe he was doing, oh my god, this guy is fucking a weasel. Oh my god, is this like one of these like freaking like scammer like office spaces that they like always like will try to like call and do like a prank call on them or whatever, because they're like, oh my god, we know that you're just trying to, screw old people out of money and vulnerable people, and but he might be a part of this. Where are they? I'm just gonna say like Bangladesh or something. Or maybe the Philippines. Oh, it must be the Philippines. PH, duh. Okay, and then, okay. That looks fancy. Love the elephant. Where's the water squirting out of his mouth? I mean, really. It looks like a pretty cool place, though, doesn't it? I wouldn't mind fucking chilling there for a little bit. Kind of cool with the purple. Anyways, says price discovery event. Bid. Price discovery training. Oh, follow Pinnable on Facebook. Maybe I will. Price discovery training. Okay. All right, dude. Really? Like, you wanted people to go there? Like, you put this on in a statement, and you're like, okay, dude. So then this is the training sheet that he put up, and this is just bizarre. So I'll go over it faster than the other ones, but it's just like, I mean, it's just gibberish, but it's like, if you actually stop like and read it like I did, like this, all of it, it's like, none of it makes sense. He's like, Pinnable is a private cash device, okay? Look at a finished Pinnable 655 bill. So apparently he makes these Pinnable 655 bills, and that's like the currency. Honestly, like, I don't want to waste the time like going through his little thing because I feel like it's just an imaginary world that he made up in his head. Either he's scamming people with people from the Philippines and they all did this and he was like on board and maybe he got scammed. Maybe he got scammed. Oh my God, maybe he got scammed. Mm. Hmm. The user can touch the tactile washi tape. The user knows that the bill is the authentic bill, not a photocopy. No photocopies of our bills are legitimate bills. They may have washi tape affixed. The use of the washi tape and the use of the registered image creates bill authenticity security for each bill. The ripped ends of the washi tape are always unique. This means that every handcrafted bill has its own fingerprint. These two techniques, unique ripped ends and unique position, make Pinnable immune to counterfeiting. Oh my God, are you fucking kidding me? This is ridiculous. Dude, I want to know what the hell is happening here. Like, this is sad. If, like, this is actually a thing and they're just, like, sending it to, like, really people that have, like, learning disabilities and stuff or, like, just aren't, you know, understand stuff. Wow. Yeah, and then he's like, it's a gift certificate. And then he goes into these, I don't know, I'm saying, okay. He goes, what is Pinnable in practice? The Pinnable bill states that it is a gift certificate. Pinnable is a gift certificate for birthdays and baptisms. There are 100 million birthdays and baptisms in the Philippines each year. Pinnable is the form of a certificate bill. The standard bill is 655 Pinnable units. And then he goes something about how they like would exchange at like one-to-one basis, but actually like their bills only like run in like 655. So like it actually helps to like round up to 15 or something. I was like, dude, what the hell is going on? He's like, art is priceless. The sum total of Pinnable can be redeemed for our painting, Red Green Apples, painted by my aunt, Maria Sinikipin, in the 1960s. Art can be the basis for the total sum of Pinnable as a good and provide legal compliance for exemptions available with the Philippines Banco Central. Like, dude, what? No. So yeah, this just goes on. Yeah, this is the weird thing where he's like, people can get it at a discount. And then they're like, it's this for one, and the total value of our 1 trillion is actually 1.5 billion. And 1.5 billion is times 1p. It's just like none of it, it makes zero sense. Yeah, this like either people that wrote this like don't understand English and like they just had ChatGPT, which is also possible, but like it's like why would you do that if you're trying to actually like convince people to be scammed? Or he's just making this shit up in his head and he's like, you know, kind of just not making sense. Like that's what psychotic people do is like they're really disorganized a lot of the time and the stuff that they are seeing or saying. It's like when you wake up from a dream and you're like, it felt so real, but then you're like, yeah, and then there was like, you know, it was like I was there, but I knew that like it wasn't me, but like, you know, and then there was like 3 statues of elephants like with water and then people are like, dude, why are you telling me this story? Like no one fucking cares about your dreams. And then you like really felt like the dream was so real and like everything just was kind of like happening the way it was and not really questioning shit. And then when you wake up, you're like what the fuck? I feel like that might be a little bit of a similar experience to people that are like in psychosis or like just super thought disordered, you know? Anyways, this guy, I think my theory, my first theory, which now I'm starting to maybe wonder if maybe he got ripped off, but I thought that he was maybe losing a lot of money by like going to online like sex sites and spending all of his parents' money, because I think he seems to have issues with money. And I do feel like that was probably a significant reason behind his decision to end the lives of his mom and dad when he did, and the way that he did. So yeah, he's like, here's an example. Mr. Rice will lend 100 to Alona. Mr. Rice wants 45% interest. Mr. Rice would be paid 145 pinabo a day. Let's say the market price is 10 PHP. This means it's like, dude. And then he goes, his 15 bills would be redeemed in the future for 9825 PHP in value for goods or services. And he's like, thus his 100 PHP becomes 145 pinabo across 15 bills with a maximum value per bill. It's like, dude, shut up. Here's another weird one. Oh, this is weird too. Why would Mr. Field accept this deal? Pinabo is a larger asset with a liquid pool of buyers and sellers. His risk is reduced because he does not have to rely on repayment from Mr. Rice. He can rely on the liquid market and its many participants. He has converted his debt from one person to a stronger Pinabo elephant, which has a vision on market and immediate payment. He knows that his total redemption value is 655 unless he sells earlier. He says, why would Mr. Rice accept it? He ends his debt right now and can be free right now. He would end his debt as a fraction of the cost. He would accept this deal because it ends his debt to Mr. Field. It's like, okay, well, I see where your mind is right now. Why would Enola agree to this? Because it keeps the Pinabo project alive, and they can use the money to pay our printing and production expenses that currently require PHP to fund. And then also, she can buy rice and small bags of rice for Pinabo bills to keep the cycle in motion. Dude, no. It says, within 2 weeks, we should have a market price. He said, building our new, okay, this is, they'll be able to get loans payable on Pinabo, and then they can do marketing and their big projects, which include building their Pinda campus, training and hiring our new employees, building our Pinda OS operating system technology, building our new city called Filnir, building our new college. We will build at least 3 colleges. And then this is where one of the colleges will be in Madagascar, which, like, is in Africa, right? I might be wrong about that. And it says it will be for Chinese. Okay. Chinese will have to buy Pinabo to pay for their college. What, like, in Madagascar? What are you talking about? Like, this is obviously, you know, an example of thought disorder. Like, it makes 0 sense, really. Like, you can try to make sense of it, and I do try to usually, but I feel like this shit does not actually make sense. Except the fact that he, I think, is in debt and, like, wants to convince people to, like, you know, give him money fraudulently a little bit. It says Pinabo has the potential to bring in 1 trillion PHP into the Philippines from China. Okay, well, that makes me wonder. We have many other ways to bring money in. Ugh, these are the craziest questions. What would you have paid for a Pinabo bill 20 minutes ago? What would you pay for a Pinabo bill right now? What will you pay for a Pinabo bill in 1 week, 1 month, 4 months, 1 year, 4 years? Would you sell it to Anna Lona to get a Pinabo bill today? Does Pinabo solve problems? Does Pinabo have a future? What are your talents? What talents can you give to Pinabo value? Can you sing for Pinabo? Can you talk about Pinabo? What problems do you have? What problems do you see? Can you use Pinabo to imagine a solution? We need agents, interns, marketers, agents that would resell Pinabo purchased from Enola at 3 times, buy a bill at 10, resell at 30. As Pinabo gets famous, it will be easier to sell. Have you seen Pinabo? Like, okay, what's behind all that? Like, for real. I mean, this was, like, shouted out in his statement that he gave after he was interviewed as a suspect when his mom and dad were found buried in his backyard and haven't been seen for like 7 years. Or, you know, sorry, I spent too much time on that, but okay. Okay, I'm gonna go off screen for a second, but I'm gonna keep reading. But I will be back, don't you fear. Like, my face will. Oh, wait, but then, could I do? Whatever, this is fine. Okay. All right. He says, after he shouted out all of those, um, like Pindo and whatever, he says, it is a cash solution to the danger of central bank digital currencies. Okay. I want. Wait. Everyone has a stake in this and more. The more important law in America is NYS Ratification Law 1788. It teaches that the people may resume the powers of government whenever it is necessary to their happiness. Like, that's a pretty broad statement. So he's, I think, here trying to argue, which you'll see it come out a little bit in this interview, is that I think he's trying to say, like, he was able to step in and make those types of decisions, like taking out his mom and dad when they like didn't ask it to happen, and that he actually can just take over the powers of the government at that time because it is like impacting his happiness, and like if he's happy then he can do it. Like that's literally what the law says. It says our happiness is the law. The law is what is best for the community. Well, like your happiness and community is not like the same thing. Okay, it is best for the community to have our government in the hand. Okay, is it best for the community to have our government in the hands of domestic enemies? No. This is why we need a board of trustees to assure self-government, the law, and quality of life. Which, you could argue that in different senses for sure. With this law, we can have irregular constitutional change with after the fact public support, as Jefferson taught. On the basis of this law, I declare the creation of the Board of Trustees for New York and one for the federal government. I am the initial trustee of both. It's like, wow, okay, awesome. Thank you so much. Like, that's like so much work, and for you to just like take that all upon yourself, like, thank you. He says, I must note that a domestic enemy is an oath-bound officer or official who betrays our sovereignty to the British and their colony Israel. Okay, I kind of speaking my ACAB language a little bit right here, but also he's delusional, so I don't think that really helps my argument very much. But there's things that he's saying, right? You can be delusional and also right sometimes. I'm just gonna say it, but says all Zionist politicians are domestic enemies. By this we attain a national repudiation of Zionism, which I think is like an actual. I looked that up too because I think it's like a official ending to something, like in the governmental sense or something. Don't quote me on that. Yeah, and it says by this we attain. Yeah, you said that. So by this we attain a national repudiation of Zionism, which the public desperately needs and increasingly wants. We need a board of trustees to save the country and restore our sovereignty. Rhodes Scholars are domestic enemies. Kathleen Hochul aided and abetted an enemy into high office, Rhodes Scholar Delgado. This makes the governor a domestic enemy. Her privilege to hold office is void, as are the senators who approve this nomination, as is that of Letitia James. It's like, what are you, like, I don't know if that's like a logical, flow of, I just feel like his connections are like not conspiratorial, like where you might think they are, but, because I was kind of trying to look for it, but anyways, he says, I don't know why he says, I love this like little time where he's like giving himself time to like reflect and think about like the inner thoughts of Donald Trump, which I bet a lot of people do. But he's like, I don't know why Donald Trump can't say that. He could have gotten out of his problems a long time ago, but he wants attention. Actually, that's not a bad read, Mr. Klaus. Unfortunately, Donald Trump said it. Sounds good for the U.S. to fall under the British Empire. On to the last page of the statement. So yeah, the statement is giving, right? Like, wait till you see the interview. Okay. By this, Donald Trump repudiated his oath of office, right? By repudiating our form of government, our constitution, and our sovereignty. Repudiation is resignation, which I also kind of looked that up and I was like, well, I'm not tracking really. I guess, yeah, I don't know. It's like definitely nuanced. Anyways, Elon Musk's son was right. Trump is not the president. His military orders are illegal. Trump did prove that politics is negotiable. Everything runs on money. Churches, corporations, and colleges, they will dance to Trump's tune for money. Okay, amen. Right? Preaching the choir with that. That's true. I would like to get Trump on the right track. I love this. He's like very like progressive. Like he's looking for, I don't know, he seems like to be wanting to invest in positive change. But I think it's all lies. I don't know. Maybe not. I need to get to know him better, but it says first he must be rehabilitated. He's talking about Trump right now. Without that, his oath of office is void. Justice Roberts is a domestic enemy for giving the oath to Trump, knowing that he was found to be a domestic enemy in Colorado courts. Domestic enemy budgets are illegal budgets, and the bonds produced are illegal bonds, poisoned bonds. This violates security laws for all of us who trade U.S. debt. This is why you need a board of trustees to clean up this crisis. The board of trustees shall have prosecutorial immunity. Oh my gosh, well, remember, because he, like, isn't he on the board of trustees too? Like, so that means that, like, anyone that's in his position, like, they can't be prosecuted. So, like, I see what he's saying here. I see where he's going. He said, this is why you need a board of trustees to clean up this crisis. The board of trustees shall have prosecutorial immunity. In return, I will answer all questions in this police matter, which I think he's like referring to the dead body situation. He's like, I would like to thank the investigators for their patience and abilities. Oh, wow. I bet they really appreciate hearing that from you, dude. When the public is in favor of a board of trustees for the right reason, protecting our sovereignty, the board of trustees will pay everyone in support $4,000. Hell yeah, man. Sign me up. I am making myself useful to you for the right reasons. As long as I am innocent until proven guilty, I am fit for this office. This is him making a statement after he interviewed but didn't get arrested with the chief of police after his parents were found in the backyard. So he's kind of like, hey, you guys remember, I'm like the perfect person for this fucking position that I like invented, and it's super awesome, and you really need it, so it's kind of perfect for both of us. It's like, I mean, like, you can't be serious, dude, really. Like, I mean, that's why it's like, yeah, people don't fake, like, kind of nuanced beliefs like this. You know what I mean? Anyways, it's hard to explain, but hopefully over time, I will be able to, like, kind of give you guys like a little bit better of an understanding of like how you can usually tell like the difference between a like malingering person and someone that is just like over reporting symptoms or literally like psychotic or a huge thought disorder or something, It says, here he goes again. Okay. He is like, I will pay everyone in support $4,000. I am making myself useful to you for the right reasons. As long as I am innocent until proven guilty, I am fit for this office. If the public does not want a board of trustees, I would like to be prosecuted under German law. Wehrgild's law, which I had to look up too, but this, especially after this sentence, blacks would get a better deal under this kind of law than British law. Muslims and Jews have their special cutouts, which I don't really understand what he means by that, which I think I do understand what he means by kind of saying that black people might be better treated under the Wehrgild law, but the only reason why you can make that argument is because African American people, there's like any type of police order or law systems is going to be a better opportunity than what we have here in the United States. Like, so it's not really saying much, you know what I mean? So yeah, but then I looked up Wehrgild law, and it is actually a type of law that was like, I think one of more of the first like kind of come up with currencies, and it was like where people's view of justice came up, and it included where you would have like to pay it, like the actual breakdown of the word itself means like man price, like price of man. What's this price of man? And it kind of gets into some of these social concepts and like just even societal like customs and beliefs or traditions and requirements or whatever to like if someone is killed like these two people were in the backyard, then what happens is the victims, like whoever was affected by that homicide that took place, then would be owed money from the people that like inflicted that homicide. And the amount of money that you owe would be a way to justify your actions. Because before, it would just be a lot of like revenge and like going back and forth, and like families and like would be in these like feuds for like centuries and centuries and generations, and they like kind of ended up, I guess, coming up with the system, which honestly the system sounds like it fucking sucks to me. Like I'm like, oh, so you're like, how can you say that someone's life is worth more than another person's life? You know what I mean? Like, yeah, that person's worth 3,000, but that person's only worth 900. It's like, who's making those decisions? And, like, what the fuck, really? So, anyways, he wants that to be the law that tries him if he's not allowed to get this like really awesome opportunity with these new positions he made up. He said, "I recoil at the thought of being prosecuted by a German hating regimen by a German hating judge." Him and his family, I think, are like, I think I mentioned that they're from the homeland. Like, I might not have mentioned that yet, but he said grew up in like the 40s and like had to come to America, like, and were involved in a lot of like the just destruction and like awful shit that was going on during like World War II. And he said that it was like, yeah, I would like to hear more about his childhood and his relationship with his parents, which maybe I will be able to get from him since he's asking for YouTubers to reach out to him. He says, blah, 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 blah. My true peers are family, friends, fellow Volkssavers, and good Germans who understand the concept of doing one's duty, and those who have experience with Wehrgild law. This might require a special law to accept, but we don't have a governor for state or state legislature to pass it. Every elected official has a duty to object to Rhodes Scholars and Zionists in government. America needs a board of trustees, and I know what to do. This is why I am the initial trustee. I have paintings to sell to support the families I support in the Philippines. That's like another thing. Wait, what? What families are you supporting in the Philippines, dude? Each painting is $454,000. I agree to profit by nothing except minimal living expenses. So he's like, hey, I'm not asking for anything. I'm giving you so much money right now. I'm even asking anything except just like maybe for you to pay for like my like super cheap like room and board or whatever. My living expenses. Lisa, you want to come up here? It says, okay, one last sentence. Okay. Please care for an Anola Arnez, which I'm kind of like wondering. I want to know who this lady is or person is. And our pinda.ph and pinobi.biz team, which I showed you earlier, they can accept high interest loans repaid in Pinabo. You will find her on Facebook. Lorenz 9. What the? So he's Anola. Well, he had me fooled there for a while, but I see you, Mr. Cruz. All right. Sincerely, Lorenz Kraus. Okay, my bad. I've been saying Cruz. My bad. Kraus. That's very German. Kraus. Okay, so well, thank you for that awesome statement, friend. I'm gonna come back online here. There I am. Okay. All right, so let's move into the interview now, right? I think that that's all we have to do. So this will be great. Okay. Hold on. All right, here we go. All right, so this is the first interview that took place between the suspect asked for it, and this is the news guy. The guy on the left is Greg Floyd, and then the guy on the right is the suspect. Oh my god, my ear itches. I'm wearing like earphones too on, or earbuds. Lorenz Kraus. All right, so let's get started. This is crazy, you guys. This is fucking seriously crazy. I'm gonna speed it up by like a little bit. Go to 3.5. Because I do think the way that this investigator approached this interview and the way that he interacted with them, he's pretty good. But he's an investigator. Like I kind of mentioned before, you don't see him giving like the same type of feedback that like a therapist or a psychologist would prove to someone that they're interviewing or evaluating. You know what I mean? Like I feel like I could have probably gotten more out of this guy, but probably not. This guy's good. Like listen to what he got out of this guy.
We really appreciate it. We'll get to the statement, but first we want to talk about the more recent event, actually the prior events and now the more recent events. Take me back to the summer of 2017. What happened to your parents?
My mother wrote me a note, which the police must have now, describing her walking across Whitehall Road, not Whitehall, Wolf Road, and she fell down on her face. And she had, when I saw her a week or so later, yellow and green, black and blue marks from this. And she wrote that down, and that was a situation that became a problem, because when elderly start to fall down, the time comes that they started, beginning at the end. And my father also had cataract surgery, and he lost his vision to double vision, so he couldn't be he couldn't drive. So they were losing their independence and so forth. And my mother had a brother who had Alzheimer's, and my father had a sister who had Alzheimer's. They were both in nursing homes. My mother had...
Okay, so just right off the bat, I gotta say, the question is, like, what happened with your parents? And he goes into this huge freaking explanation about shit that seemingly has nothing to do with what actually happened to his parents, I mean, a little bit, but he's giving very general, broad reviews, and it's okay. And I'm picking up a little bit on like what he's choosing to mention here. He mentioned something about, I'm actually gonna write this down and document it, because I want to know like how they're gonna deal with this. So he ended up pleading not guilty because they arrested him after this interview because he fucking just basically admits to murdering his parents, and so he's gonna go to trial. Anyways, it would be very, very interesting to see the evidence that they have for this trial right now, or for this case, because it just would be interesting to be able to follow up on some of these statements that he's making, because he says here, he's like, sorry, I'm trying to grab a pen so I can write this down. Okay, he's like, what happened to your parents? Then he's like, so my mom fell, and she wrote a journal about it, and she was black and blue. It's like, why was that the first thing out of his mouth? Like, to me, that makes me suspicious. I'm like, so you pushed your mom down and she got a bunch of black and blue, and then you made her write like a fake note about how she did it herself or something? Like, what happened here? I know that's like kind of extreme place to go right off the bat, but I'm just kind of trying to like brainstorm, like, I am not licensed and I'm not diagnosing anything, and it's more just fun speculation to think about this stuff. So just keep that in mind.
Second sister who also had Alzheimer's, and they put you in a bed, they put catheters into you, they rip your teeth out to try to keep you, the whole 9 yards. So this is in the back of my mind.
So you didn't want to see them deteriorate and go through that, did you?
And I'll mention, the police know about my sister, and having to see my sister die from cancer. I was 16, she was 14. Go through 9 months or so of, the agony of cancer patients.
Mm-hmm. So did you kill your parents as a mercy killing to put them out of their misery?
You
can be honest with us.
I know. I'll leave that for the statement that I put on your website.
Like that statement that we just read, that says fucking nothing about your parents, dude. What are you talking about? Basically, he doesn't acknowledge this at all, and instead he basically is just trying to run his mind around all these different kind of like excuses or reasons or like ways that he can get out of this, you know? Like it's very interesting, his way of thinking here. It is not, you know, very logical or rational or realistic.
Statement doesn't mention that.
I know,
Statement
I know,
does not mention that.
right.
I want to hear from you.
Yeah.
What did you do to your parents?
I buried them in their property.
You buried them in the backyard
Okay.
of that house in Albany.
Right.
At what point did they become deceased?
I need to see a calendar sometime August 2017.
And did they die at your hand? That's the question.
Right. I'll have to leave it for that statement.
But that's not in the statement. And I think it's important for people to know what happened to your parents.
Right.
They were your parents. You loved them. They were deteriorating. What did you do?
I will.
Don't tell me you're going to leave it to the statement, because it's not in the statement. What did you do to your parents?
My goal is for the American people to recognize that there's 40 million boomers. They're all going to go through the same kind of
Whoa,
problems.
whoa.
It affects all of us.
Okay, I mean, it's disgusting that he killed his parents, allegedly. And I, you know, could definitely understand where that story or, you know, I guess theory of crime came from. But like, listen, the way that he does not understand, like, it sounds like social norms, or like, listen to how he talks about his
Die
parents.
at your hand. That's the question.
Right. I'll have to leave it for that statement.
But that's not in the statement. And I think
Right.
it's important for people to know what happened to your parents.
Right.
They were your parents. You loved them. They were deteriorating. What did you do?
I will.
Don't tell me you're going to leave it to the statement, because it's not in the statement.
I know.
What did you do to your parents?
My goal is for the American people to recognize that there's 40 million boomers. They're all going to go through the
That just seems so rude. There's 40 million boomers. There's going to be so many old boomers out there just dying and spending money all over the place. Like, what are we going to do with them?
same kind of problems. It affects all of us, and we need to widen up the law so that people can deal with these kind of problems in a humane way, in a whatever way that people can deal with. And I did my duty to my parents.
No, okay. I'm sorry. Dude, stop. Like, this is where you see a lot of people that commit crimes that are kind of not completely, you know, mentally sane, or like completely just thinking, I guess, like, I don't want to say normally, but like, they're just maybe thinking a little bit differently or something. But he is, the way that he's set himself up throughout this whole thing is like, instead of being the actual horrible Weasley victim, gross dude who, for very selfish reasons, like murdered his parents, he has turned it around to be like, he is the savior. He is just looking for everyone else. Like, it was his duty to do this to his family, which is just like, I honestly feel like he has convinced himself of that in his mind, like the way that he talks about this, but it's just like a fucking joke.
So you ended their lives.
I won't.
You're saying that without actually saying that word. I want to hear you say that word. You
Yes.
ended their lives.
I have to
give them mercy. You're saying.
I have to plead my Fifth Amendment rights until I can disclose it with my statement.
Why did he talk
Did you
to this
have
guy?
any concern that whatever you did was wrong?
I would never have done such a thing if I ever did it, knowing it's wrong.
Well, then why did you cover it
So
up?
you believe what you did was right. You believe taking your parents' lives was the right thing to do for their sake.
If I did it, absolutely that.
But you did do it. You're saying to us that you did it.
There's a statement there that we'll deal with more later, if you want to know.
Lawrence, I appreciate that, and we'll talk about your statement, but show me where in this statement it says that you killed your parents. It doesn't. It doesn't talk
Right.
about the fate of your parents here. You
Right.
keep talking about the statement answering my question, but the statement does not answer my question.
How is this
It's the
real?
question people want to know. And I think they need to hear it from you.
Yes, there's
So-
time for that.
And I think now's the time. Did you kill your parents to put them out of their misery?
My concern for their misery was paramount. And it was a huge burden to have to face this coming up.
What are you talking? Taking care of them? So taking care of them was going to be
You
a
know.
huge burden for you.
This is a horrible situation.
Sure. So you alleviated that burden.
You're a good questioner.
Yeah, he is. You're not a good
I have to
answer.
protect my Fifth Amendment rights on this until the right time.
I'm not an attorney. I'm
Right.
not an officer of the law. You know, you don't have to say that to me.
This is on record.
Yes, but I mean, whatever I say here is going to be
Right.
held against me elsewhere, right?
Of course, but you probably answer to a higher authority anyway in the long run. So I think you can tell us.
Oh my God.
What happened?
This guy is not.
Did you kill your parents
I feel like
together
he's
at the
kind of
same time in the
exploiting
same
this guy.
place? What method did
That's
you
why
use?
it's like such an awesome
all of that,
interview.
all that kind of stuff I would answer later with that deal with the American people. But I'm not going to speak about such things like that.
But you have a chance to tell the American people right now.
I want their feedback on my statement. Then I can believe that I can tell the truth uninhibited.
You don't think you're going to get better feedback if you're honest with them? and tell us what happened?
I put things in the right order. They have to be in the right order. But it's very important that insofar as exculpatory material, the police have that statement from my mother regarding what happened to her, crossing the street at Wolf Road, falling down,
Right.
And she also had a problem with, she mentioned she was getting lines in her eyes for some reason. And there was no, I don't know what that would be.
That was the prelude that helped set things in motion, you're saying.
That was the...
That started your parents' downhill trend, health-wise.
Yes, but also the letter from her to me
No.
said, do something.
No, my God,
this
he
is,
fucking
you
made
need to
her
know
do
this
that.
in a way that...
That's
Your
crazy.
parents asked you to kill them or to take
He
their
forced
lives?
his
in
mom
a
to fucking
merciful
write that
fashion?
note. That's gross.
I think they want me to take responsibility for things.
They asked you to take their lives? To do what they couldn't do?
No. Hell no.
Implicitly, but not explicitly.
Exactly, dude.
So
Whatever.
you were just granting their wishes?
My mother, after my sister died, my mother would give me these do not resuscitate things every few months. And she wanted to die, given her grief for my sister,
that's sad.
her daughter.
And you love your parents and you wanted to honor their wishes?
There's something special about our family that we can somehow read each other's minds. And so being things explicit isn't necessarily...
You can, oh my God, you can read their minds. I bet he does think that.
I
bet
could complete my grandmother's sentences for her, and she would say, well, So, I mean...
No, dude. No, you couldn't. You thought that, but no one else thought that shit.
The context of all this became to bear on me.
Did one parent, did your mom or your dad more so than the other, ask you to take their lives?
This is such a good interview.
They didn't explicitly say that, but they made it clear that they were going downhill.
When it actually happened, when your parents died, did they know it was happening to them?
Oh, yeah.
And they knew it was at your hand?
This is weird. This is where it gets
no one else-
disturbing. This is where it gets disturbing.
So they realized what you were doing to them as it happened.
Yes.
They knew that this was it for them, that they were perishing at your hand.
Yes.
Wow.
And it was so quick.
Oh, really?
How did
That's
you
not
do
what
it?
he says later.
Yeah, I can't talk about that.
Well, you've just told us that
Right.
it was at your hand.
Right.
Were there drugs involved? Was
No.
there a suffocation? You suffocated them. You suffocated your parents.
I don't mean to laugh.
Yeah.
That was the best way to take their lives, through suffocation.
This guy is
Basically,
just,
Which parent did you suffocate first?
my father, and after he died, my mother put her head on his chest, and she was there for a few hours, and then
that's weird to me too. What is he talking about?
I finished her.
You finished her.
And then what did you do?
Wow.
Did you bury them immediately?
No. I didn't know what to do after that. I was thinking what to do.
So this was a impulse choice.
It took me several days to realize I can't do this, I can't do that. Just
He was
bury
trying to
them on the
figure out how to
property,
get out of
and,
this.
It was wide open, sunlight. I remember my sister, she received either a gift of a lamb or a lamb was given to her upon her funeral, but that lamb showed up and I put it on my mother's grave.
What the hell are you talking about?
No, too.
You call it a grave?
Well,
You
yeah,
bury them
they
in
are
the backyard,
graves.
You see it as a grave?
Yeah.
Well, I bury them. And
Right,
I
that's
put
fair.
A thing around my mother's grave, and and I planted a peach tree next to her, and I put that there.
Sounds nice.
What did you think as you were doing it? As you were taking their lives?
Microphone.
What was going through your head?
Oh my God. not good.
Not thoughts, action. Make sure it's done and not fool around, not make a mistake.
Not make a mistake.
I'm sure the police are going to say, what an incompetent idiot I am on that.
Probably, yeah. Especially because you're just
You know.
spilling the
Did they
beans right now.
both
Spilling your guts.
pass away peacefully?
No, he's gonna say no.
Did they struggle as you did it?
Not a good hesitation.
I would say the
Yikes.
last minute, no.
Last minute, dude.
but they're-
What is
they're-
that kind of answer?
I think my father died very quickly, surprisingly quickly.
Okay.
That shocked me.
That shocked you.
And then, the part with my mother, went quickly too.
Did you realize what you were doing, as righteous as you may have thought it was illegal, and
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, he says.
you knew you were breaking the law? You knew you were.
Well, that's what I'm saying. We have to squeeze the law to fit the humans, not us, the humans to fit the law. And
Well, yeah, that
we
would
have
be really
baby
nice for you
boomers
in
that
this
are gonna
situation.
suffer a horrible death, typically. My mother always, if somebody died in their home, she would say, "Great, that person died with their boots on," instead of going to a hospital and going through a meat process.
Fair enough. I see. These are good
So they were they were both
points.
children of World War II. My mother was born in 42. She was a toddler. She told me she would follow funerals behind the horse and wagon. This is the kind of world she grew up in. My father was at age 12 in a communist concentration camp for 3 years.
Wow.
So they had very serious lives.
Damn.
Given
Made it through concentration camp to be
generous
killed at the
workers,
hands of your son.
as I call it. And so they were not fooling around on things. They were serious people.
When you were doing this, did you think about the financial ramifications?
Of course.
The fact that you would continue to take their government money?
Once that happens, then what do you do?
What?
What
do you do?
The
You tell someone your parents died.
the government is pissed because I took the Social Security
Of
money,
course.
gave it to people who are starving in the Philippines.
What are you talking about?
Okay then.
I'm sorry. Okay.
Be angry about that. But
Okay. I'm so confused. I need to talk to this guy. I'm gonna email him or however he suggests to get a hold of him, because what the hell is he talking about? What is he doing with the people in the Philippines? He's talking about he gave all of his money to the Philippines. I'm thinking, did you have a sex addiction and you had all of these women that you interacted with and spent too much money? Remember there was that one red rum that took place because oh my gosh, wasn't it the weirdo dude that was stewing his parents' head in a huge bat of stew? That's how they were found to be deceased. Was they found body parts all over the house that this guy had chopped them up and was trying to get rid of them, and obviously apparently decided to boil his mom's head. Ugh. And this dude was I think he lived in Wisconsin or something. He's such a weird, just recluse, strange dude. But a lot of these people are that do the weird ass shit like this. You know what I mean? This guy's a weirdo and he killed his two parents. And then there's all the incels and shit. Because I do feel they are. They have legitimate reasons to not feel great, you know what I mean? I validate them on that, but just the way that our society has created people to feel shitty about themselves and then not actually deal with it and look at the system that's creating it. It puts a blame on very sexist things. So it'd be well, it's all the shitty women that are the reason why no one wants to date me, and I need to feel manly, so I'm gonna choose to go do some weird ass, gory, crazy, violent stuff and then people will like pay attention to me for like 5 minutes or whatever. But that's just one of my little theories. But what do I know? But yeah. Anyways, this guy
Anything, the police know all the money that I have went to people to help them. Thousands of dollars. I gave almost, not all of it away because there was still a lot left.
what the hell are you talking about?
But I gave away, I didn't play with the money, I gave it away.
What?
I didn't enrich myself.
Okay, so
Does that justify what you did?
enrich yourself with sex, or
No, but this is not a kill for money case, is important to say.
it's not a kill for money. But you were worried about money, and then you spent all their money.
I was helping people before that.
Who are you helping?
Just
Dude?
fine. So it didn't. The issue of
what is he talking about? This is so weird.
taking my
I
parents'
really
money
want to know.
for other purposes related to that. That doesn't fit. That's why the police, they had a
Motive.
theory going which we talked about on Tuesday, and they wanted to try to say that this was taking their money to give away to other people, but it was that the other part is the primary situation.
What was
Some
what
would
other
call that
part?
blood money,
Right, and I was giving it away.
but it's still blood money.
Well,
Right.
It
Look up weird guild law. Same thing as
if you
blood
kill
money.
To take somebody's money away, that's blood money. But if what was I supposed to do with this money? Again, I couldn't tell anyone. The government needs to have.
I couldn't tell anyone.
This is something that happened, and here's how it happens. And they need to deal with these kind of problems in an open way. Everything in this country is hidden.
I'll give
away.
him that. I'll give him that.
This is a societal crisis. Again, 40 million people are going to deal with this.
Okay, so here's the thing with this that bothers me is that he actually, in this way, to me, is not making a bad point, and I can get on board with this a little bit. But I feel like the only reason why he's arguing for this is because he needs it to help his case. It's not that he actually, I think, really believes this philosophy, if that makes sense, in my opinion.
And maybe a multiple of that given their friends and family. So it's a reality of human experience. And I just wanted to say, in 2020 there was this YouTube channel called Tribe of the Fox, and they did a video called The Mannerbunde, and they explained how in the ancient times they had men who would do this for the elderly, so they wouldn't have to suffer. And of course, the ancient Greeks always believed in dying on the battlefield rather than dying, in a bag of bones, like a bag of bones. Mm-hmm. So, culturally, America is totally different.
They didn't die on a battlefield, though. It sounds like they died in their beds with a pillow over their faces.
No, but you could put it that way.
It wasn't a battlefield.
Well, right, it's not, the preference of...
There's no righteousness in this,
people,
honey.
Of the ancient Greeks was to die on the battlefield rather than die so infirm that you had nothing.
Was it a pillow that you used?
No.
What did you use to suffocate them?
For my father, my hand. For my mother, a rope.
A rope, isn't that
So you
sad?
strangled her?
Yeah, that would seem better.
It was strangulation, not suffocation?
Well, it's the same. No, denial of oxygen.
Okay.
But also blood circulation.
So you cut off the oxygen to both of them. That was your method?
Yeah.
Okay. Now that this has come to light and the police started investigating, and do you have any regrets?
I did the right thing for them based on the situation. I did my duty to them as a son.
My duty as a son. Okay, honey. Whatever you need to tell yourself, right?
That's
kind of sick.
everything fell into place.
It's hard
I don't
to,
know
accept
what
how
happened
shitty of a
that it
person
all
you
fell
are.
into place. But it did, and so no, I don't have. It's a horrible situation to be in. One
suspected a
does
murder
one's
of your
duty,
parents that you did?
One is done. The issue of regrets, I can't say this. It's a regrettable experience, a regrettable situation.
Is it? Yeah, probably not right
And
now.
of course, life is horrible. It has horrible moments in life. But that's that.
And I just want to make sure I have it correct, because I'm a journalist and facts are important. You used your a single hand to kill your father?
Right.
putting it over his
No.
nose and you choked him. Okay. And you did the same with your mother, but with a rope.
Yikes.
You choked her with
No,
a rope.
no, no. Just a rope.
Just a rope.
Right. I'm sorry, but I meant you choked her with a rope though instead of your hand.
Right.
Okay. Are you on any medications today?
No.
Good question.
Well, no.
Nothing.
It should be.
Is your mind clear and
I'm just a little sleepy, but I'm trying to keep my eyes open, but that's okay.
okay? But you have no
That's a defense
mental
mechanism.
disabilities that are affecting what you're saying here today?
Okay, well,
You're confident in what you said and clear.
that doesn't mean
of
he's
mind
fucking
as you
has
say
a-
all this.
Yeah.
fucking not
I would
that
appreciate,
disorder.
I hope that you could put this on YouTube, the whole thing.
It is, honey. We're
Sure,
watching
we'll
it.
put this on. And are you ready to face the consequences now with the police and the authorities?
No.
Yes, but I would like the American people to also read my statement.
Oh, we did.
That everybody can have something to appeal to on this. I know my statement is
Scattered, disorganized.
you know, I'm not really concerned about the police or the courts or anything. There's something
Oh,
much
right.
bigger in life,
No.
and we have to deal with the big things in life.
Okay. But again, just to be certain, in 2017, you took your father's life.
Correct?
And then moments later, or a short time later, you took your mother's life on that same day.
Right. No, well,
Okay, well, all right. So I guess he's gonna tell us more about that. But right, like, isn't this like kind of a crazy interview though? It's just like I'm a little bit like in awe. Like I've had definitely like, because when I've like done psych evals and psychosexual evals on like rapists and red rummers, and you when you do an eval like have to really get into some of the criminal thinking or like thought processes that like were contributing to that person engaging in those criminal acts or like thinking in those like criminal beliefs or whatever, which I don't really agree with. I'm like, fuck you guys, like criminal this, criminal that. But also I like don't like I'm ACAB, but that doesn't mean that I feel like everyone should just like be able to go like kill people and not have any consequences for it. Like we need to like live, you know, like cohesively, and if someone's like a danger to a community, like we can find ways to protect ourselves and our community from people that have shown to be not able to not hurt other people. But why was I going off on that little tangent right there? But something about, yeah, just thinking about this whole interview. Oh, that's right. Yeah. Because I mean, like I said, I've like gotten into like pretty deep conversations about like, you know, crazy crimes, crazy like actions, and walked through the offender kind of like making them, I guess, be accountable. And like a lot of people just try to avoid it because it's like, it sucks. Like obviously, you know, it's not natural for people to enjoy like hurting other people, and it is weird. I mean, obviously sometimes it happens, but how our society, especially in America, has like changed so much that it just seems like that's almost like the norm or to be expected. You know, it'd be explaining his guts right now is pretty awesome.
see, that's the thing. It was late at night, and it was like late evening on one day into early morning night.
So within hours of each
Right.
other. What did you do between the taking of your father's life and the taking of your mother's life?
Yikes. I bet his mom was pissed. He did a bit shitty things to his mom, I bet.
I'm trying to remember. 'Cause
You fucking know.
Uh,
He fucking knows exactly what he did. That's where she got those bruises from.
yeah, I don't remember.
Did you sit with your mother? Were the three of you together in one
Well,
room?
before they died, my father was here, my mother was here, and I told them what happened to me and my sister.
What happened?
After she died. And my sister died in the house too, because when she died from the cancer.
What is he talking about? That's
But
another follow-up
she
question.
died in May of 1988, and then in that fall was I was doing my 11th grade now then, and there was I had to do a paper in a big test, so I did an overnighter to do that test, and then tried to do a second overnighter to finish.
I've been there before. I can't. 2 nights is hard,
I
but I've done it. Not to be
crawled to
proud.
bed at like 2:45 in the morning, And sometime then after, I popped out of my body.
Oh,
And
okay.
I started floating up to the ceiling. I saw the nooks and crannies, and I acknowledged that the nooks and crannies of the ceiling, and then the whole world disappeared. And I was in this big black void,
Wow.
and I was
This
things
dude
was rushing by, and then I saw
has
my
a
sister
major thought disorder.
in a doorway in profile. Anyhow, after that, it was like a near-death experience kind of thing. And
He
so I
hallucinated.
told my parents about that experience, and I told them it's time,
For you to do that.
Go find Rosa.
Wow.
My sister's name was Rosa. And so
Wow.
my father just died quickly, so quickly. And I told him find Rosa, and
Wow, that's fucking intense.
that's that.
And then again, just take me through, after your mother died, how long was it before you buried them? Approximately.
Like 2 or 3 days, actually.
So your parents' deceased bodies were in your house with you for 2 or 3 days.
Right.
Not that bad.
And then you decided you had to do something to cover up your crimes or to properly bury them and send them on their way?
Well, David knows what happens when you do
and I
that.
needed to
They smell too bad.
yeah,
Bury
I mean,
them.
basically, I had to bury them somehow.
Was the burial to cover up your crime?
It's a nice way to put them. I mean, both, right?
You didn't want to be found out.
Right, of course. I mean, what to do? So again, the thing to do just occurred to me. Oh, she can fit here and he can fit there.
What?
And then,
Oh, perfect. Oh my God, there's a yard here.
and that's that.
Have you lived with fear of being found out all these years?
He just, I bet, doesn't even think about it. Maybe a little bit. Maybe he does. Apparently he does. That's interesting that this is hard for him to answer.
I struggle to do other things with my life to try to make something great out of it.
No.
Because
No.
that's what I know that they would
Want
not
you
want me
to
to
do.
rot away to death in prison over this.
Oh my God, dude.
I have
Whatever.
a duty to everyone to make the best out of
My life.
my life and in the end do what's best for the people of Germany.
Because what's best for me is best for
Being a
everyone.
vote saver. It took me years to understand all this, but I learned a lot in the last eight years that I never knew before, and I learned self-educated in so many ways. So I did not. The issue of being caught is. I was able to buy time to solve huge problems.
Oh my God. Yeah, you've been solving huge problems, honey. The last
to them,
8 years.
to their legacy, to their.
They wish. You wish.
Do you think
this
people are gonna
is
accept this
This is
rationale?
Probably
delusional.
won't.
And feel for you?
What they need to feel is for their own parents. They're going to face the same problems, and they're going to have to find solutions ahead of time, or else they're going to end up like me. That's the reality.
Okay, well,
So
thank you
tell
for
other
that.
people that when their parents start ailing, they should take their lives?
They have a duty
Oh my
to
God,
their
that's
parents
snarky.
to bring them comfort at the end of life
Mm.
when they believe they need to.
But again, just to be clear, you took both your parents' lives.
Yes.
And you realize that you're probably going to face the criminal consequences.
Oh, of course.
I mean, you're probably going to be arrested.
He's frustrated.
And
Well-
charged. And
Yeah. I mean,
This is
I'm
such
sure
an
that,
this is kind of funny. This
I mean,
is the
it's a process.
satire
You have
part.
To go through the process. How it will come out at the end, I don't know.
So interesting.
To influence that process, I would beg the American people to read that statement.
Oh, we did, honey.
all right, Lawrence, thank you for being with us.
Oh, I appreciate it.
Oh, don't end it now.
Thank you.
There's more. There's more. Tell us more. Tell us more.
You good, guys?
No, they're going to be like, no.
You good, Stone? I think we covered all the bases. Yeah. Is there anything else you want to say?
Why did you write that manifesto?
What?
I'm calling it a manifesto. What would you call it?
A statement to the American people. Is that what I wrote? That's what you wrote down?
I wrote statement to the public because you said that.
Yeah, I
You
think-
said that to me.
Right. Yeah.
I bet this guy has a thought disorder. I'm going to look
What's the other
through the
one?
DSM.
Manifesto.
Not a manifesto.
Just a statement to the public. It is a bit rambling, a bit hard to follow.
Right. That's why I say I need the conversation, more conversation.
It's a,
But do you think people are going to want to talk about this or the fact that you
Absolutely,
took your
they're gonna
parents'
talk-
lives?
Right, they're going to talk about that. That's what they want to know. It's just the reality. So I mean, they'll.
Good.
you know,
I love that he's like really talking to this dude. Like, dude's
horrible
getting him to
situation.
think about reality.
everybody, many other people are going to face it. My
Many other people are being.
But are other people
No.
going to take the same
Exactly.
actions
They're
you
not
took?
going to do that.
probably not because they don't have the same kind of sense of duty to their.
Oh my God. Stop.
Duty is a
Oh my God. This is, I mean, honestly, like, it's almost pathetic how much someone can really just totally lie to themselves. Their mind will not even allow them to get anywhere near that thing that they don't want to be associated with. Like, right here, his dad, it sounds like, his background in his childhood, it sounds like it was like a little strict. And he had like all of this like kind of trauma from his sister dying so young. It sounds like that's maybe when he had a little bit of like a psychotic break. I don't know like necessarily like what was going on in the home at the time, but it sounds like he was raised with parents that kind of weren't super lovey-dovey and like weren't there for him to just really lean on and get support from. Like, instead they were kind of like, hey, life is rough, I fucking lived in a concentration camp, so you can't really complain to me much. Like thinking about that, having as a dad, and then not necessarily like being able to meet those expectations, these calls of duties. Like, obviously this guy is not mentally, in my opinion, all there. I would have to like actually do some like legit testing to figure out where he's at, like in terms of intelligence and in terms of thought disorders, and like if he has any other like interventions that he's using right now to like help with any of those. But I mean, this dude is definitely showing significant signs, and he's talking about like pretty serious like incidents of him losing touch with reality and like having hallucinations, and he's for sure delusional, and he's very disorganized. Those are like the three main like criteria for schizophrenia. So I mean, it's kind of sad if he has not been actually getting treated for whatever he's having right now. Like, I'm not saying that is like what made him like commit this crime against his parents, but it didn't help anything. You know what I mean?
I owe it to you to do it, as opposed to right and wrong, the law, etc. These are different ways of being. And of course, the law in this country does not allow for this way of being.
But are you truly confident that's what your parents wanted?
I know my parents are harsh in certain situations, and if my mother could see where she was going, she would never want that.
But you said they didn't expressly ask to be killed.
Right.
Right.
Are you sure you did what they wanted to be done?
Yes.
I think that they would have increasingly would have wanted me to help them.
It was not your decision to make,
If
honey.
the situation got any worse.
So that day in what you think was August of 2017, what made that day the day?
I think it was a colder evening, and the windows were closed.
Oh,
So it
interesting.
was not
If they got loud. So this is like
It was,
that's his intent here.
just no noise or something like that.
So you were safe from detection? Is
Right,
that
right,
what
of
you're saying?
course.
Exactly.
Because it was a summer, right? It's usually hot and windows are open, but it was kind of cold that period.
So because it was a little
Yikes.
chillier that night, you decided to take your parents' lives.
That note she gave me was sometime in May or June, I think. When she said she fell, it was May or June or something like that. So this has been, my father already told me he has double vision. He had a hearing aid. He couldn't hear anymore. His eyes were going. He couldn't drive. My mother, I knew, was not.
I love
using
this
her
part.
turn signals properly, so they were losing their independence and even awareness of the world because of breakdown.
Most people, I think I'm safe in saying, would not take their parents' life because they couldn't use their turn signals properly.
That's
That's
help.
a very
Good point.
good point, but again, it's not just that.
It's like a
one,
combination of all these things.
marker of decline. And again, she had a brother and a sister who were going through Alzheimer's. By then, one died, and her brother was going to die, and maybe 2 years later, and he was in a terrible situation. So, the other aunt of mine was I think even in an even worse situation because of Alzheimer's. But I never.
Did you heal them
visited
too?
her because I mean, women tend to want to be remembered for their beauty when they're young. So I didn't visit her for that reason, but I also
What? Okay, weird. That's
never
weird that he said that.
knew
He's
enough to visit
interesting.
where she was or anything like that.
He's thinking about
But
things.
again, you feel like it was your role to, I mean, some might call it playing God, deciding on their lives. It was fair for you to do that?
If the decision is going to be made, it's going to be a plain God decision. And truly, we lived through this COVID thing. Cuomo.
Oh, he's trying to
is
rationalize shit
probable
now.
cause to arrest Andrew Cuomo for thousands of deaths because
No.
it's on the record that
This
he sent
is what he tells
people
himself.
into nursing homes
Obviously.
for a certain reason, and there was reports that people died as a consequence. So that's probable cause. But he
Andrew Cuomo did not put his hand around
Right.
someone's neck.
But
Andrew
that-
Cuomo did not put a rope around
right,
someone's neck.
That he would be culpable of criminally negligent homicide. I think that's the,
So what are you guilty of? Are you guilty of murder?
No.
you could say age-related homicide or something like that.
Homicide. Well,
But it's not in the law. But it should be. Somehow it should be.
I agree with
And maybe
people. I
it will be.
agree with
And maybe,
euthanasia, but
If it's accepted at some point, because there's 40 million people, they'll want it to be accepted.
okay. Honestly,
yeah,
I bet I wonder what his political beliefs are because I'm sure he's like all about supporting it now because that's what he did. But I wonder if before he actually thought that was like how he felt. You know what I mean? I kind of doubt it.
This will blow over. And I'm willing to make restitution to the family. That's why I mentioned that other type of legal system.
Yeah, the restitution money.
And
Lawrence, this is not going to blow over.
know,
You killed your parents.
Oh God.
there is that situation.
Wow.
But to me, it's not very important.
What's not?
Politics is subject to change. Everything is negotiable. Donald Trump has proven that everything is negotiable in this country. And if you have a good idea and you can help people, you can get a better outcome.
Right, like
you ever
hit
kill
pin a
anyone
bow
else?
or
No
whatever.
way.
Did you ever commit physical harm to anyone else?
No.
When you beat up
This
your
was
mom
it.
and May?
Right.
Your mother and your father?
Yep.
No one else in your family ever suffered at your hand?
No.
Okay, just wanted to check.
Yeah.
Just wanted to check, he says.
Thank you, Lawrence.
Lawrence, can I ask you a question? One of the
Yeah.
neighbors told us on the scene that your parents were under the impression that you were going to take them on a trip. Did you tell them that you were going to take them on
Oh.
a trip before you killed them?
No, but I asked my mother if she wanted to go with me for a ride to Grafton Park. We'd like to go there.
I think they told people that they were possibly moving to Germany.
That's what I said.
You said that?
What?
Yeah.
You said that to people, not your parents.
Right.
So that was your,
People
that was your,
ask me, where are my parents? I tell them.
Oh, they went to Germany.
And
I
my
gotcha.
father was born in Yugoslavia, and then after they could escape communism, they went to Germany, and then my father came to this country, and then my mother in the 50s.
but there were neighbors who said that they had been told by your parents, oh, we think we're going to move to Germany. Are they mistaken? Are the neighbors remembering that incorrectly? Or could your parents have said that?
They could have said that.
Could they have known something was coming?
Possibly.
You ever give them the impression that maybe you would just move them somewhere?
No.
No, okay.
I'm confused. He told other people he moved.
Okay, all right. I think we're done.
Okay.
Thank you, Lawrence.
I appreciate it very much.
Thank you for talking to us.
Yep, thank you.
Okay, well, like, hold up. We have to see this.
Yeah, if you can make that all available on YouTube, even on a private website for me, so that I can have it
Trust
on
me,
record.
it will
Weird.
be available.
Okay,
Trust me, he says.
Thank you.
I'm going to email this guy. Okay, let's see what his follow-up interview sounds like.
Thank you for seeing us again, Lawrence. Since you told me yesterday that you killed
Look at
your
him.
parents, do you feel a
So
sense of
weird.
relief today about that?
Not any extra relief. No, not at all.
No, not at
The
all.
world knows what happened now? That doesn't...
I mean, that does help. I think. I'm glad that people know about my
Statement. He's
That's
so
important to me.
fixated on the statement.
People out there care about your parents and what happened to them.
Yes.
Can we
You
just
are
go through
not
again
listening
very
to Mr.
quickly,
Kraus.
That night that you decided to take their lives, did you know that day, the day before, when did you know that was the time to do this?
My father laid back and was ready.
No. What does
I
this
just
mean?
want to say a message that
Okay.
there's a legal defense.
He has a lawyer there. What the hell is this lawyer
legal
doing?
defense, and the most important law in this country is New York State ratification law, which says that the people
Yeah, for their
have the
happiness.
power to reassume the powers of government whensoever it is necessary to their happiness. And one of my goals was
In
to
the
create a board of
statement.
trustees for New York State.
Yeah, we heard about that.
To create that initial trustee, someone needs to know what to do. So I'm making the claim that I'm the initial trustee of the New York State Board of Trustees.
We read
And they
it.
would have prosecutorial immunity.
You
So
would.
I appeal to that as having prosecutorial
Like
immunity for this case.
he cannot be
What about
buying
certainty
this.
that's not going to happen?
And I love that.
You also talked
I
about
love
wanting
that.
to be tried under German law.
Well, the ancient German law, yes.
Is
Yes.
that still something you're looking for?
I would ask for
Anything.
There's nothing
He's
wrong with
desperate,
that.
man.
I mean,
Anything.
You never know if you'll get a yes. You can get a yes.
Yeah, you got to stay positive.
Unstable right now. You don't
Yeah.
know what could break up.
That's actually not a bad.
And
Yeah,
I do
that's a
think
good
the country
point.
should break up into pieces to make it better for everyone. Even the Washington Post suggested that.
The court of public
Interesting.
opinion
I do
seems
wanna talk to this guy.
say that they're not happy with what they heard from you yesterday.
Oh,
They think it
really?
was a
Why?
cold-blooded crime.
Well-
Do you understand people thinking that way?
I'm glad you gave me that feedback.
Not me, Mr. Kraus.
We all are getting old. We're all going to need help, and we're all going to have to decide how to deal with these kinds of problems.
Not,
With
not necess- no.
40 million boomers
Boy,
getting
so
into that
rude.
stage of life, they need their options open, and their families need their options open.
But who are you to decide?
Yeah.
Other than being
Part of me, okay, yeah, like he has these sparks. Like it's kind of like part of me is like, what is going on in his brain? Like I think he's definitely disorganized and all over the place. Like right now, it looks like he's like smirking. He like kind of knows how ridiculous this sounds, but I honestly think that these are the things that he's kind of like trying to tell himself. I mean, he's very focused on this statement. I mean, he really wants the U.S. to know his statement. I mean, he wants everyone to wake up to this happiness law and to like the blood money, like, or the man payment law. Like, I mean, this man has ideas. And, you know, if we just put him in prison, what's that going to do for society? He could do big things. And all he did was just like do his duty to his parents. It's just like, I mean, delusional level of kind of avoidance. Or I mean, I think people are going to be like, oh my god, he's totally smirking, he's like doing this on purpose, but I think he's totally just kind of weird, to be honest.
their son. But is that decision up to you? Can you play God?
You can do your duty to your parents as they give you feedback, information. et
They
cetera.
didn't. No, they didn't give you.
And so it's really not a decision of God. It's, you know, whether it's a matter of
Me.
what kind of lives are you trying to give your parents under grave circumstances that will become
No life.
the
The economy.
you know, if somebody falls and then ends up in the hospital, they're in the
Money.
machine that
Yeah.
will just process them along, and you will have no way to recapture control, to get control of your own life again.
That is true.
They weren't hooked up to a machine. Their
Right, he's like-
lifeline was you.
That's so funny.
And you snuffed out their lives.
Yeah, your arguments literally don't apply to you, dude.
You have to understand that the end was coming.
Yeah, it's
and
coming for
the
everybody,
world
buddy.
Starts to go. You have to decide when your time is
Yeah,
up.
not you.
But did they decide or did you
Yeah,
decide?
exactly.
They were giving me hints to this effect.
And a hint's enough to go and decide to take a life?
It was.
They were telling me without telling me. I know my
This is
parents.
The beginning of the end for them.
Well, it was the end for them because you made it the end for them.
Okay, I'll have to keep. I think
What can you tell us about your parents? What kind of people were they, your mother and your father?
My father was more, what my mother said, do whatever you want as long as you do good in school. And so I sort of measured myself as, is what I'm doing
Good enough.
good for school or not? And usually that kept me on track to being, doing good in school. And my father was not so much important. Sometimes he would say, "Oh, you don't have to take that test." Or
Yeah, is
Were you
that
not
like
as close with your father?
I was close
I love a rebel.
with them in different ways. But I wouldn't say.
But I would never kill my
not
parents
close with
unless
my
they wanted me
father.
to.
I always
But
felt
even then, I put, like-
closer to my father, I think.
Why did you decide to kill your father first?
I was afraid of my mom.
Yeah, I can't talk about that. I'll listen to that advice with the lawyer.
After you took their lives, it's been 8 years.
8 years.
What have you been doing in those 8 years?
Trying to
Gardening and like
trying
gardening.
to make good on their lives by trying to, I tried to start a vote saver philosophy, which never existed before.
Oh.
And I think it's very important to civilization to try to start a new civilization, to recultivate the German people.
Oh.
Because after World War II, they were totally wiped out culturally by the
Yeah,
United States.
a lot of cultures
Everything was
that's
destroyed, and then they were basically Americanized. But I understood that the essence of German culture is folk teleology, which is a philosophical term.
Don't you think your parents might have rather continued to live as opposed to you helping German culture?
My parents always
Ridiculous
doing
question.
Their duty. My mother always said,
I love this
I do
interview.
I have a duty to you. It's not as concerned with love and life as you might think it is.
I get
Was it a
that.
loving relationship you had with your parents?
Not in a loving. I wouldn't characterize it as loving the way you might say it in America. It was harsh.
It was hard.
See, I want to talk to him about this.
As a kid, it was very harsh.
So was any of the decision to take their lives in retribution for that? That the fact that you had a harsh upbringing?
No. Okay. Sorry.
Why? That's we're just getting the good stuff.
Thank you.
Oh, I wonder if his lawyers are going to let me to interview him. Okay, well. Wait, what is this? Oh, yeah, that's that stuff we just talked about. So, anyways, yeah. Okay, this is the part. Okay, so, like, literally, well, let's just watch this. Because it's, like, literally right when this interview is over, he goes into the parking lot, and he's arrested by the police for double murder of his parents. Like, how ridiculous. I mean, of course.
So again, this man right here, Lorenz Kraus, arrested outside of our studios yesterday. You can see the police putting the handcuffs on him. This is just after he
Lorenz.
confessed to us, a chilling confession that he gave to us about killing his parents 8 years ago in the city of Albany. Here's a clip from that confession.
How did you do it?
Yeah, I can't talk about that.
Well, you've just told us that
Right.
it was at your hand.
Right.
Were there drugs involved? Was
No.
there a suffocation? Was there? You suffocated them. You suffocated your parents.
Yeah.
That was the best way to take their lives, through suffocation.
How is this interview, bro? I'm just like,
Basically.
I feel like
Which
I'm in.
parent Did you suffocate first?
My father, and after he died, my mother put her head on his chest, and she was there for a few hours, and then
And then I got her with the rope.
finished her.
I finished
Go to
her.
JT Fetch. He is live for us at Albany City Court.
You're never gonna
That's
make
where he
Fetch
was
happen.
arraigned this
Quit trying.
morning, Mr. Kraus. JT, what can you fill us in on here?
Yeah, Greg, good afternoon to you. The justice system moving swiftly in the hours since your exclusive interview with Mr. Kraus yesterday right here on CBS 6. Mr. Kraus now facing 2 counts of second-degree murder and 2 counts of concealment of a corpse. And as you said, those charges, they all stem from the deaths of his parents, Franz and Theresia Kraus, who were last seen alive in 2017. The judge today specifically mentioning the time between January 7th and September 30th of that year. This all comes after a stunning confession by Kraus himself in that exclusive interview with our Greg Floyd. Lorenz Kraus admitting to killing his parents. He was taken into custody by Albany police outside CBS 6 right after that interview. The human remains found in the backyard of the family's Crestwood Court home in Albany, believed to be those of Franz and Teresa Kraus. We do know that Lorenz Kraus, and that is why he apparently gave that exclusive interview to us here at CBS 6. Now, in the courtroom this morning, he appeared calm and in relatively good spirits considering the nature of what's happened here. After the arraignment, we heard from both Albany County District Attorney Lee Kinlan and Kraus's public defender Rebecca Sokol.
I think the words last night spoken on Channel 6 speak for themselves, but ultimately, we have to build a case not just on what he said, but physical evidence and witnesses and everything. So that's the next phase. And certainly the stuff he said to Channel 6 last night probably is going to provide some additional avenues of investigation.
I do have a lot of questions about the events that occurred yesterday afternoon, about really how that came to be.
Yeah, the
police involved,
public
a lot
defender
of
for
questions
sure.
on that front
I know, good
that
for
might
her.
Take me in different directions.
Why is he
in
talking?
Investigation sense.
For sure.
So again, I don't.
Like,
I
did the
saw
police
it,
get this
I saw
interviewer
what
to,
was
like-
supposedly provided? I'm not taking anybody's word for it at this point.
Fair. I like that. She's like, who let him do this?
Now, this all started as a financial crimes investigation involving other agencies, including the Social Security Administration.
Well, that
DA
part.
Kinlan says that avenue of investigation is ongoing. But again, what we do know for sure right now is that Lorenz Kraus now faces charges including 2 counts of second-degree murder and 2 counts of concealment of a corpse. Kraus remains in custody. His next court appearance is scheduled for October 1st at 3:30 p.m. DA Kinlan says the investigation at the initial site, the home on Crestwood Court, does continue, especially given the apparent information that was revealed exclusively here on CBS 6 last night during that interview.
Yeah,
Crestwood Court is where we find CBS 6's Quinn Alexander this afternoon, and he has more, including reaction from neighbors. Quinn.
Yeah, that's right, JT. This is the house right where Franz and Teresa Kraus were buried and murdered allegedly by their son. Now, the officers are just now wrapping up. They seem to be taking stuff from the house. And I did take a look at that backyard. It seems to be completely dug up and almost completely empty. Now, I spoke to neighbors in the area. Kate Calabrese, who lives just next door, says she had an inkling that something was wrong when she didn't see the elderly couple for several years. She remembers when she was a kid, the father, Franz, would hand them mint over the fence.
I used to have a little...
She says they weren't the closest of neighbors, but no one's deserves to be
sweet.
treated the way
Well,
that
obviously.
Franz and Teresa Kraus were treated by their son.
But it sounds like they were dicks, though.
People get old. You're not God. You can't play God. And he thought he could play God. And he did. Sort of.
Yeah.
I don't believe this is any sort of celebration of life. I believe it was murder.
Now, following the discovery of the couple and the arrest of the son, she says that the Crestwood Court will become closer together. She says the neighbors will band together to make sure that nothing happens like this in this community. And yeah, we'll continue to cover this story, and we'll have the full story later tonight. Reporting live in Albany, Quinn Alexander, CBS 6 News.
Don't worry, we didn't notice that flub. Okay, so anyway, sorry, I know that this live is like a lot of just watching that interview, but I do really think it's just super interesting, so I'm for sure going to be following that case, and yeah, I'm interested to hear other people's opinions. I think people are going to hate him, and going to definitely think that he is like doing all this as like a psychopath, and he's evil, and just thinks he's like getting away and fooling everyone, but I'm pretty sure I saw a lot of criteria that makes sense for him too. But anyways, I think I am going to try to email him and see if I can get a hold of him, if that's not weird. I mean, it might be weird, but I'm still going to do it. So, but yeah, I'm really hoping that tomorrow I'm going to be able to come on and do a live all about David. I have like a lot of material gathered from that, and also like kind of a lot of analysis on that I want to share too. So anyways, I hope everyone has a good night, and that everyone had a good week and weekend, and see you on the flip side. Peace and love. Bye.